Welcome to Sonic Bros. Today I will go over Chuck E. Cheese spin-off restaurants, and I will not be going over the history of Chuck E. Cheese in this video. If if you thought that was gonna be included entirely, but it's not. So just go search up Chuck E. Cheese history on YouTube, and then you can find some great videos about the topic. So, anyways, let's start. So, Chuck E. Cheese made this first spin-off restaurant called Zap's Bar and Grill, and they opened a few in Tampa and Nevada, and they opened a few more, but not a whole lot. And here's the other Zap's logo, and a Zap's original game token, because they did have games, and they had a grill and a bar. Here's a layout of Zap's, and there's a cabaret, so I assume that Wolfman Zap would be installed in the cabaret. And here's a picture of a newspaper featuring the inside of Zap's, and there's a neon sign in the background. Speaking of Wolfman Zap was the animatronic character featuring of it, and he's a wolf, and it's unknown if he's a retrofitter or not. If he is most likely a retrofit of Chuck E. Cheese, but we're not sure yet because of a low documentation of Zaps. No videos exist of the place, but only a few pictures of a Wolfman Zap and a few remnants. So there was two variants of the bot, this version and this version. And here's a picture of him in corporate in a portrait, which that picture looks very weird. Yeah. And then next up is this one, which is basically the same as the first one, but except it's a better. And there's a wood base, so I assume he was displayed similar to a balcony stage bot, but he was just in the cabaret. In 2015, a person found this Wolfman Zap animatronic character strapped onto the front of a truck. And it was used for a parade slash festival in Tampa, Florida, which makes sense because there was a Zaps in Tampa, Florida, which means this guy's most likely from that location. And this is from around 2023 or 2024, and it shows him strapped on the front of the truck once again, but he basically looks the exact same. Here's the back of the Zaps token, and says, "In games we trust," which means it must have been one of the first barcades. Which is a bar slash arcade. A barcade. That makes sense, right? Next up, speaking of bars and grills, CC around the 2000s made this Chili's type restaurant called TJ Hatford's, and then there was a sports grill. And there's a picture of advertising it. As I can tell, they wanted to make this place big, but they only opened one store in Louisville, Texas. Here's a picture of the inside of the restaurant, which is very similar to a Chili's, Applebee's, or a Red Robin restaurant. So it's in the style of those restaurants. And here's their menu, which if you pause it, you can read what's on it. And there's a guitar in the background with a T on it, which stands for TJ Hatford's. Here's the TJ Hatford sign, and then a fudge brownie sundae, which was a menu item displayed on a little advertisement on the table, which which that fudge brownie sundae looks super delicious. Here's a variant of the logo, and then here's another variant, and then here's a picture of the exterior of the building, which it's neon red lights. It advertises salads and something else, but we can't make it out. Probably subs. And here's another view, and also burgers of the TJ Hatford's place. Here's another picture of it, but this place shut down around the mid 2000s and only lasted around a year. Next up is this place called Peter Piper Pizza, which most people probably have been to this place before if you will live around the West. They have locations in New Mexico, Arizona, California, and Nevada, and I think they have a couple in New Hampshire or New York, but I forgot. But here's a picture of their play zone. The front of the building, and Peter Piper Pizza has been around ever since 1974, and they served pizza and had arcade games, but they weren't the first arcade pizzeria. They added those around later, and then the Pistol Pizza locations, which transform into Peter Piper, and they used to have an indoor merry-go-round and the Rock of Fire Explosion animatronic band. And then around 2014, Chuck E. Cheese bought them out. And around the 90s, Pistol Pete's turned into Peter Piper and removed the Rock of Fire Explosion and an indoor merry-go-round. Here's a picture of an advertisement for a Peter Piper Pizza. Here's a more older logo and the inside. And there's this other one called Peter Piper Express, which is just like a place where you order food and not play games or do other attractions at Peter Piper, but you just order their pizza. And here's a more older picture of a location. Next up, in 2020, during the COVID area where people could not go eat out at diners and restaurants, they opened this place on Grubhub, Uber Eats, and DoorDash called Pasqually's Pizza and Wings. People thought they were actually supporting a local business until their pizza came in a Chuck E. Cheese's box, and they realized and told the DoorDashers, where did you get this pizza from? And they said, oh, Chuck E. Cheese a few miles away, you know. And people tested it out, compared, and they said that they have a different sauce and a few other different ingredients, but most of it tasted identical to Chuck E. Cheese. And people were very confused during this time. And Pasqually's Pizza and Wings shut down services in 2025. And Pasqually is the drummer in the Chuck E. Cheese animatronic show, and the only human character in the band. And the Chuck E. Cheese fans know that it's Pasqually, but the other people thought it was just an Italian name, you know. Fun Spot Arcade. The first location opened in Trumbull, Connecticut, and it was located in a mall. And the walls were identical to what Chuck E. Cheese 2.0. And around 2025, they added a taxidermy Helen Henny animatronic in the window. But they opened a couple more. Even one in a former spot of a Nickelodeon arcade in a hotel, which is pretty cool. And they opened a couple more. And then in a hotel in Kissimmee, Florida, they opened this place called Chuck E. Cheese's Fun Zone. And they had arcade games. And here's a picture inside of the rides and the air hockey. And this place had very interesting artwork. And it was called Chuck E. Cheese's Fun Zone X the Mystery Fun House, which was an Orlando attraction, but it shut down around the mid 90s because of Disneyland. And I mean Disney World and Universal Studios. So yeah. And they collab with it, and they have the neon bowling there, which is only at free Chuck E. Cheese restaurants / experiences. And here's a sign of the show called the Whiz Bangs, which was a retrofit animatronic show, and they had this character on display called Wizzy, which is a Jasper T. Jowls retrofit. And in the window, there's actually a picture of Rolf the Wolf and Earl Schmerl, which inside a Chuck E. Cheese is pretty crazy, but yeah, kind of funny at the same time. Chuck's Arcade. Chuck's Arcade opened around 2024, and I mean 2025, and they at first did not have animatronics until one location got a Pasqually taxidermy animatronic. Sorry, I showed a picture of Chucky on accident, but they received a Pasqually animatronic taxidermy. And this is at a location in Georgia, I think. And they have a prize wall with retro CC prizes such as T-shirts, Bel-Airs, U2s, Funko Pops, vintage shirts like Munch, and Chuck's Arcade themed merchandise on the grand opening. And then here's Buford, Georgia's Chucky animatronic. Here's a picture that they showed on the official website, and it shows people very happy at Chuck's Arcade playing their arcade games, having a good time. And here's a picture of Chuck's Arcade. And here's a picture of it under construction. And this is the Pasqually taxidermy that they installed. And here's a behind-the-scenes picture of the animatronics being made. But people are so mad because they're using Rockford, Illinois' Jasper T. Jowls taxidermy animatronic. And that store had the very last rocker stage. Here's the Helen Henny taxidermy at Fun Spot Arcade. And the Mr. Munch animatronic at a California Chuck's Arcade. And here's a behind-the-scenes picture of them being made. And here's the Kansas City Chuck's Arcade, which used to be a Peter Piper Pizza, then a Chuck E. Cheese's, and then a Chuck's Arcade. And they have retro decors on the wall of like Chuck E. Cheese's art, old magazine posters, shirt iron-ons, rub the token for good luck. Next up is Chuck E. Cheese Splash Zone, which hasn't opened yet because it will open in 2026, and it's in the California Dreamin' Water Park. And here's a picture of the place. And soon they will add the Chuck E. Cheese Splash Zone in it. Chuck E. Cheese's Adventure World, which is the most newest CEC, which they use artificial intelligence (AI) for their artwork, which I just hate it. I just hate AI so much. It's stupid. It's annoying. I just hate AI. I hate it. Hate it. Hate it. But Chuck E. Cheese is $660 million in debt, so what they can make actual 3D models. So instead they use stupid AI, and they will open one in Arlington, Texas. So peace out.